Buongiorno. And so, sometimes I wonder if the Dar es Salaam neighborhoods weren't saying the truth. The Dar es Salaam neighborhoods around the capital cities, I would say 81 countries, but let's stick to 81. I don't want to mention the ones in the US. Said sometimes when that kind of intelligence has its head smashed in on the coastlines, it's good. Because it's like Robin Hood, it's like Nigeria. It's the biggest theft on the planet to have that kind smashed on the coastlines. I say, okay, so why you brought back Disneyland? Why you brought back this? In history, usually, when that happens, the reason they do that in Intel, they call masks or whatever, is simply because something in history happened. That's what it simply means. But denying it shows me either that you don't have intelligence, that you have the hate of a retard, which you do, or that you have the, it's not a question of decency or civility. You see, what it is you showing to the world that no matter what intelligence does, it shouldn't live in the US. They should either spy and take away. So, what happened on the coastlines was something else, wasn't it? Correct? Because then you'll have the retards claiming what? Let's say. So if you have been given intelligence by others, stupid times, for 2 high schools, and you are in the US, and then you give the pathetic excuse that you can prevent that shit on the coastlines, and you lose it. You lose what's on the coastlines. You lose what you lost. And then you send, I don't know who you send. You send agents who have nothing to do with the coastlines against Disney. Because you're thick as shit. Yeah. Considering I don't care what you say, whether it's Italians or the Germans or the English or also internationals about that girl, or Russia or Arabians, they're against you for that girl on the coastlines. That's why I'm back. But because it cannot be changed, because it's not strong.
Hold on for your safety.
Why did I grow up with those scientists or those corporations, directorates? I didn't do cancer. Cancer was pink. Jamila did Grays and Black. The birthday, it highlights it. But it's not July 20th of the 20th century. It's of the 21st. This is where your fuckers lost all that shit on the coastlines with the corporations. That's what they were denying. This is what your people are. Now, considering that's all news on the news, otherwise the globals, and cannot be changed because it already happened, the void. And Ditki and Van Damme is The Hague. You know what The Hague is? It's a war crime. You know what the lowlands is? War crime. On the coastlines. Yours. You're denying that shit that happened on the coastlines. I don't blame you. I don't have pretenses. I'm not that girl. I'm the replacement child. I'm the genetic particular corn pop that came out as a phoenix from the coastlines after you smashed the leader's head on the coastlines. And she was female, not male. Female. You backward fucks in the US. That's the old news on the news. Must make you feel like Mother Teresa of Calcutta to send your psychos after this one because she must be a terrorist. Now, considering that you don't have 2 brain cells to rub together, and this offends you when somebody comes back from a smashed in head on the coastlines as a particular quote unquote Disneyland, and a living poodle in the house, it tells me that cannot be called a country.
Now approaching 22nd Street. Please use the 6th northernmost car.
Why? Because if you can see that shit coming from China and then becomes the basement, and then you say, shit, we just got rid of that intelligence with a smashed in head on the coastlines. We have a replacement baby. We're terrorists, we're assholes, but we don't want to hear it because it offends us. It offends us like 5-year-olds. To hear that from Disneyland. So we have to send psychos. We have to send other agents. That's Schadenfreude. Okay. So, that's what they're saying. So even if you send psychos, no, I'm not going to fight knives. I'm not going to fight gangsters. Now, stalkers.
This is southbound limited.
Tiny, Jewish.
Making select
Grabsky's Jewish, Ukrainian in London. They were stalkers, they knew each other. For them, for Schadenfreude Jr., that's mentally retarded because they remember the original girl and they even know Disney. So for them, they're just Schadenfreude Jr. All of you, even what happened in Fresno. Yeah. For Fresno, for the Barons, there are people who are panicking on the streets. Why? Because they know the cheapness and the ugliness of the tits and ass, the famous intelligence of Fresno. That's been going around the capital cities that many times. Because on the East Coast, with Lara Quintas and Nally Direct, their cement trucks have been there ever since the Crawleys and Metro Crawleys. There are many flyings of that girl, there are many runnings of that girl. Because the hills, you have to be at the back of the hills, behind the library, to actually see the beginning of the mountains. You will not see any of that from the grounds where I am, standing in front of the library. You won't see it. You won't see all the flyings beyond. You won't see all the runnings behinds and above. You won't. You simply won't. Because your eyes won't see it. Just like my eyes have to be on the hills and behind the hills to see the mountains. If you do that many times on the flyings and the runnings, and then you have a girl that comes out with a smashed head on her slides as a blimp in time, replacement child, particular corn crop, and you're sitting there and you think, I'm so good, I'm the best on the planet. Yeah, shit, so you're quack. Even Disneyland can see you from Why? Let me explain. Papa and Mama are born in pioneer camps beyond the capital city. So they're champions in sports and everything. Pioneers, again. They don't boast about that. They're hired as D1s. What is that? D1. D1s of what? Humanitarian Relief Services. OSRO, later TCUR, Catholic Relief Services. They're D1s. Everything is easy for you. In other words, if they bring back Disneyland, and then they say, I'm more intelligent than you because I have a PhD, Disneyland is going to laugh in your face because those buildings are empty and sizes. Because that girl, July 2221, is at La Sapienza. It's an entire university in Rome that has a department of space tech that's empty because I'm dead. You fucking moronic retard. Keep denying that shit. That's all news on the news. And if there was a ship to yacht with that girl with a British shot up around the capital cities, that's all news on the news worldwide to go about. And I don't like the Mossad at all. On your fucking coastlines. If you want me to be more obvious about it, I can speak about it. But that's gone. Okay? That's one back. In Tanto, that's something else. So if you make a particular corn cob after somebody was smashed on the head on the coastlines, you come back. That person is not the same person. If they said there's blues with the nails, hard nails, it meant that when you smash somebody's head on the coastlines, if there's a ship to yacht, if there's corporations, if there's intelligence, very advanced intelligence behind that girl, with that girl when she was flying and running, they made negatives. It's not the same, but she cannot, that boy, those men, cannot reopen those buildings. That's new mathematics. That's what's empty at La Sapienza. That's what's empty on the East Coast. And that's what's empty in California. The reason I went to school, elementary primary school, for free with Elon Musk's children, maybe you know how to put 1 + 1 together, the genetics. Maybe after smashing somebody's head on the coastlines, you're capable of coming back because you are a fucking genius. So you have to put down Disneyland to make yourself feel like a woman, right? Well, all my life, I've been growing up with no fucking teeth at the age of 5 watching the fucking Void in Western Europe. They're sitting about a phenomenon who had her head smashed in on the coastlines. And that's the old news on the news, the Indians worldwide. She don't exist no more. She's a fucking ghost. She's an angel. So you send your psychos, I guess. What kind of fucked up backward country are you? That's not even mentioning father and mother on retirements and Fresno in their jobs. They're on retirements in the middle of the desert of California with a bunch of fucking bitches who have a 5-size bra tits. Fuck. Going near my father and my mother on retirements, the hospital, the nursing homes, these. I was like a whole list. The shootings from Jared Harthouse and his million girlfriends, the puppy dicks, this, that, the girlfriend, the ex-wife, this, that. But it's not. You're talking about the parents, you motherfucking retarded piece of shit. You're not the trained poodle in the house who had her head smashed in on the coastlines and came back as a little no teeth baby, begging to stay in Rome for retirements with a Falkland film and Radio Globe. Shit. And you call yourself intelligent. You didn't have to bring back Disneyland for a blip in time to show you that. And then you got upset that shit left was the whole shit to yard. The Italian mentality, the British mentality, the Marine. And you're gonna see that shit coming from fucking China on the coastlines, on your fucking soil. Let me put it this way. You have pretenses. You're the most pretentious motherfucking piece of shit on the planet. And you're gonna turn around to me and say to me, you're retarded because you had your head smashed in the coastlines and you're a replacement child. You call me that again. And I will take my own foot and put it up your ass. considering they made a comedy. He made a comedy out of a tragedy, which I found to be disgusting in itself. It's not even mentioned about mom and rest. I don't see it. And this thing about the nurses saying to me, your mother is a bitch. I'll take everything from you. These are the nurses in prison. The nurses.
Please stay clear.
And then your father, shit. If I'm going to be listening to such beauties of intelligence of Fresno, with the boyfriends and the government, not to mention the federal prisoners that were sent after me.
Caltrain is a proof of payment.
Come on. And when they say keep your bitches, keep them. Keep your bitch G's. That shit's empty because I'm dead. And that's the only news on the news, not the spite. But the Malik guy didn't speak about it. You know why I didn't speak about it? Because you're psycho. And because you're bitches. And that in your boyfriends. And that's not even mentioning the barons in Fresno. Not even mentioning the barons in Fresno on the retirement. So quite frankly, Lara Quintas and Ali Direct, they have beards at the age of 7. They're hanging benches by now. You understand what I'm saying? Or you just fucking retards. So when they said Scott Glenville and Radio Globo, what did they mean by that? Retard. And this phenomenon of the cats and the dogs going around in circles in London and in Rome and in Washington, and the birds circles since I'm a little child, throughout the retirements of the parents, and back and forth for 20 years. It's like on the Greyhound. No, I've seen the Greyhound bus. That's me. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, 20 years. On the retirements of the parents. And going abroad, and here, and now. Of course I have to take a plane. I'm not that stupid like you, you know. I've been to 81 countries. 80 if you take out the US. In any case, I'm not a millionaire or a billionaire. I was just sponsored when I had a brain, and now I'm sponsored probably because, well, maybe they invented the pin-up girl or the radio station 200 years ago after the smashed and had on the both sides of the practical program and decided to bring it back for a blip in time to tell you that you're all a bunch of fucking you know what. And this is what I hear in all London, in all Rome, in all Warsaw International so many times in my police and network. It's just about the intelligence. Okay, the intelligence. What about the people? What about the cats and dogs and birds? Going around in circles how many times on my police and little police after you smashed that girl's head on the ghost lines? Oh, shall I say, Fresno's a beautiful. Santi, and you couldn't have gone to Fresno and done what you had to do. Who's the guy? It's a little headache, darling. It's not a bomb. What you lost on the ghost lines is more than a bomb. Are you regretting that? The scientists? Or what about Fresno for the barons? You know, when they say, and then you send your shit holes and everything to disgrace the Disneyland? Fuck, we know Disneyland around the capital cities connected us for West about. We're taking right back the Dr. Barrett straight to your face. All of them. London, Rome, Washington. It doesn't matter even if I'm completely nuts. They'll just say that you're the psychos, you caused the shit, leave that poor girl alone. She's already been a victim. She's already had to go through the Hague, the Bureau de Veritas, Italian tribunal. This child has more fucking paperwork than one motherfucking cat. It looks like a scroll of paperwork. So you can prove how intelligent you are in sciences on the bus lines. Are you going to say it to me, you put? You want to speak about the Mossad on the bus lines? No shit. And you're speaking to me about Fresno for the parents? Shit, you. I have never seen anything like this. Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I mean, boom, boom, boom,
Now
boom.
approaching
The baby, after
Your
the smash
connection to
had on the
BART,
bus line, she
San
was like,
Francisco
boom, boom,
San
boom,
Francisco
boom.
International Airport.
Are you going to be sitting there speaking to me about intelligence? I ain't come to be on the capital city's champions at the age of 5. D1s also, these are work. All Africa, Asia, they like it. They like her. And they like they like them in Rome. They like them in Europe. But Fresno is vitriolic. Then they speak to me about the zoo of Carlo Verdore. Allora sai che fuck you, retard. No, finito. Stay on for retirement and you're bombing Fresno. You don't want to do that, then say the politically correct version. Havana 696969. Unless you missed all the t-shirts and more that many times on my police and Metropolis. And look, it's not even inside those buildings of intelligence and other places. No, it's the people. Now, the shit that happened on the coastlines, well, that's sciences. They said that. It's probably worse than Havana. Huh? For sure.
This is southbound limited train.
So this is what you don't like hearing.
Stops to San Jose
You don't like taking responsibility for your actions and inaction. But you ask Disneyland to be put out there for a blip in time so you can trash her around. US, we've already made a point on the
Doors are closing.
After the losses on those lines. We didn't have to bring back Disneyland, but we did. Now, how they made blues is out of my league. I don't even get to the blues of that girl. So we have the Roman Bazaar. Because technically, if you smash somebody's head on the coastlines, you do not bring back pink and you do not bring back blues. And if a byproduct of stupid times is Ubermensch in those 80 countries, you want to say, and they don't come near me. They will not come near you. They had their own lives long ago. They were taken away from the family. I don't live with them. I went to the secret garden with Andrew Dixon Smith from ESSA. That's why there's a million Andrews and a million Smiths and a million Dixons and a million Shakespeares. But you're so full of hate. You want to call me the terrorist? Yeah, the Mossad is the terrorist and remains a terrorist in your country, US. And your white trash and your white bitches with PhDs who cannot reopen one iota of the buildings of the original Jamila. And you're not racist. You're just what you are. The reason 81 countries, 80, spoke about jealousy and envies is because that's what it was. And if you look at fucking Fresno, the intelligence of Fresno with those nurses, that's what it is. Plain, straightforward envies and jealousies by local shit whores who are nurses in Fresno who have no business with the father and the mother. There are bitches in Fresno State who cannot open one fucking building on a still denying what happened on the coastlines because they're retarded in the US. And I'm sorry to say this to you. The reason I have no fear for you is because the UN, Germany, London, Rome, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the UN has said that about that girl. And the reason I have no pretenses is because I'm not that girl. I'm a different girl, another girl. I'm going to admit it. There's pink and blues. I'm not going to explain the blues to you. Not after I smashed your head on the coastlines. Because you don't have enough brains for that. It's as simple as that. You have pretenses in the US for what you lost on the coastlines. You have pretenses for Fresno that you couldn't have gone to Fresno and finished Fresno ages ago. This is why you have 81 countries with Havana 696969 to give a fucking headache, not kill your fucking bitches who are criminals and the assholes in Fresno. This is what's famous. This is what beyond famous that many times. This is what you created on your own soil, and then you sat there and you went, you know what? Fuck you. No. And it's, you know what it is? When all of London says it, all of Rome says it, all of Berlin says it, all of Warsaw International says it, all of Russian Federation says it, all of Cairo, Saudi Arabia says it, and I, this little baby from the coastlines, dead. Not even myself. Every place